What's going on, guys? It is Marshall and I'm back with another video on the channel, and it is draft time. The draft has finally come and it is time to make our mock drafts. I'm here with Austin and I'm going to be doing a mock draft with Donnie in a bit right after this, and we will see who gets the most correct, and whoever gets the most correct owes the other two people $5. So but this year's draft, I would say, is probably a little bit better than last year's draft. I mean, last year's draft was a little bit more, I feel like, defensive heavy, while this one has definitely two quarterbacks that are, going in the top five, but has, a couple other quarterbacks that are gonna be up there in terms of where they get drafted. So this draft class has a little bit more, I feel like, depth. Last draft class, I feel like, had more of like receivers and stuff like that. But so we're gonna do side to side drafts. For some reason, if I can't figure out how to put the text there, I am on the left, Austin's gonna be on the right. He's already got his written out, so he is gonna be telling them to me as I'm doing mine. We're gonna do just the first round, so all 31 picks, obviously, because the Dolphins forfeited their pick. So I will go. I don't even, like I said, I don't even know how that happened. I honestly can't remember what they did. I think it was something. I'm not sure. I honestly could not tell you. But with the number one overall pick, I've me and Austin have been talking about this. I think Bryce Young is probably, he's a great quarterback, but he obviously has the size issue. People really have been getting on to him about his size, and people worry. We've seen shocks every single year from the draft, and we have no idea what people are going to do until they draft them. So I think that the Panthers will shock everybody because Bryce Young is the favorite. I think the Panthers take CJ Stroud. I think he'll work great in their offense. I think he'll be a good quarterback in the NFL. I really do. He's got good size. He's got good arm strength. He's got good mobility. He really is everything that the Panthers could use. And I feel like Bryce Young, he did, CJ Stroud does have the questionable, he did bad on his S2 test. But I think they're just going to overlook those things. That's just media talking. I don't think it matters. I think that they'll go ahead and pick CJ Stroud and shock everybody. So who do you have going number one?
We talked about it a while ago, and I said CJ Stroud, but I changed up and I went with Bryce Young as the number one.
Yep.
Despite and honestly, I hope he's not the number one, but I think he's gonna go number one.
It's gonna be one of them. The Panthers are going. They traded up to go QB. It's good.
Stroud I have going at two, so
yeah.
It's vice versa, but I go Bryce Young at one.
I was about to say my number two is gonna be Bryce Young. The Texans can't pass up on Bryce Young if he's there. I did say that I think the Texans, honestly, there's a chance. I was saying that the Texans pick at 12. They could wait down the board and go with like Anthony Richardson at 12, and then go like Will Anderson at 2. But I think they just take Bryce Young if he's there. So you have CJ Stroud going at 2.
Yeah, and this is also no trades, so we did no trades in this draft.
Yep, I forgot to mention that. No trades, so we're just going to keep playing simple. Trades kind of get tricky, especially when you're doing mocks. It's just hard to do. Plus, you never know if that's actually how that works, so we just like to keep it plain. But with the third overall pick, the Cardinals are in a position where they just have to take the best player on the board, and I think the best player on the board is definitely Will Anderson, so I have them going Will Anderson here. J.J. Watt did retire, so I think Will Anderson, he is a freak athlete, so I think that they just go ahead and just take the best player. They need a lot, so I think that they just take Will Anderson, and he's the best player available.
Yeah, I got him going Will Anderson too.
Yeah.
Even though I hope he trades up to get this guy, but
yeah, it would be nice. He is the best player on the board. He's kind of like, I explained it when I started first recording this. I explained it how I think he's like the Kyle Pitts of this draft. The Falcons that one year, they needed a lot, but Kyle Pitts was on the board. They honestly didn't need him. I think they had someone that year, but Kyle Pitts was that freak athlete, so I think they just took him because he was the best person on the board. So
he's the best player in the draft.
Oh yeah.
Me.
The quarterbacks always go high because of their value, but Will Anderson probably is the best player in the draft. But at number 4, I'm shocking everybody. I think the Colts, they finally draft young. They finally stop trading for picking up these old QBs.
Better not pick the same QB I did. I'm gonna be pissed.
And they're going Will Levis at 4. I think Will Levis goes at 4.
I have Anthony Richardson going at 4.
Anthony Richardson, I honestly can see it. I think Will Levis has a good chance of going at 4.
I've been seeing that the Colts like Anthony, so I'm going to trust my gut
Anthony is he is a freak athlete. He's almost like a Lamar Jackson. He's not that fast. He's not as fast, obviously, but he's fast, big, tall. He can do a lot. But I think they take Will Levis, but I think they definitely go quarterback either way. I think they go with one of them. So who knows what they try and go with. But Seahawks here, I think it's the same situation. I know that he's had his off-field issues with gaining weight and then the law stuff, but Jalen Carter is probably the best player available, so I think they just take him. They need some D-line. I think that the Seahawks take Jalen Carter here at 5.
I also have Jalen Carter at 5.
Yeah.
Dude, again, I mean, he could slip, but even if he slips to 6,
he's one player that could slip.
The Lions to draft. I mean, they could draft anybody. I mean, it's scary.
I have at 6. They picked up 2 DBs in the free agency, but lost Jeff Okudah, lost Amani, lost some people. I think that, they do have they have enough DBs, but I think they want more depth, and I think they need someone young there just in case the free agents don't work out, because you never know with free agents. They could go somewhere new and play in a worse system. So I think they go Devon Witherspoon just so they can build that secondary even more, and I think this is a huge fit for them.
Yeah, I picked Tyree Wilson.
I like it.
And I think after just hearing you talking, it had me thinking a little more. Devon Witherspoon is probably who they're gonna go because I mean they lost CJ Moore too.
Yep.
So
who you want, Tyree or?
I'm gonna say they go with Tyree Wilson though.
Yeah, he is also up there in terms of like one of the best players to draft. So I agree. We could just take him, with whoever Brad Holmes. To be fair, there's 2 good athletes we can get there. Whoever the Lions get, I think would both be good. Are both going to be good. So I'm cool with whatever. At 7, this is where I think the Raiders went and got Jimmy Garoppolo, but it's Jimmy G. He isn't the future. You're really getting rid of Derek Carr to get Jimmy G? No. I think they go quarterback, and I think they take Anthony Richardson here at 7 because they can't. And he can sit behind Jimmy for half a season or a whole season. This is someone that can, come in whenever if Jimmy gets injured or anything, and he can also learn from Jimmy. Jimmy's a vet, so he's played behind Tom Brady. So he's got a lot to learn, and he can do that sitting behind Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. I don't have him going quarterback, not yet anyways, unless they traded it up or something. But I got him drafting Christian Gonzalez at 7.
That's a good pick.
I mean I know he's not the highest rated corner, but he's long, he's lengthy, he's fast. He's the fastest corner in the draft, right?
He's pretty fast. It's been between Christian and Gonzalez and Devon Witherspoon, who's everyone's taking. So. But, all right, with the 8th pick, this is a tough one. I sat and looked at this for a little bit. Receiver is a huge one that people think they're going to go with here. I think that this is where, for me, I think he's going to fall, and I think that the Falcons will draft Tyree Wilson at 8. I know they could go JSN from Ohio State, which would be huge, but they at least have a wide receiver in Drake London, so I think they go edge and go Tyree Wilson here.
I have them drafting corner, and this is where I think Devon Witherspoon gets drafted.
That would be a deadly pairing of A.J. Terrell and Devon Witherspoon. They're going
to have 2 just dogs.
That would be crazy. The Bears, they got to protect their quarterback. They can't keep letting Justin Fields. They got to have time for Justin Fields to throw the ball. I think they take the best tackle in the draft, Peter, however you pronounce his last name. I think that's an easy pick.
Yeah, that's who I also have the Bears picking.
They have a decent defense, but they just need to protect Justin Fields. That's what they're trying to build around, and you can't protect him without an O-line. So at number 10, this is where I love this pick. I've seen the Eagles are looking to trade up. There's been rumors they want to trade up. They've been trying to trade up tonight, but they got rid of Miles Sanders. And they only have Rashad Penny and Kenneth Gainwell left. I think they go with a huge receiver. They were trying to get Derrick Henry. This guy is a miniature Derrick Henry. He literally has the build of it. He's a fast. He's not as big, obviously, but I'm saying that he could be a great running back. I think at 10 the Eagles go Bijan Robinson.
I have them drafting Nolan Smith out of Georgia. I mean, they lost a lot on that defense.
They did.
their running backs are going to be good enough, especially with their O-line.
Kenneth Gainwell played pretty good.
I've heard rumors of them wanting to trade up, which means I don't think they have their eyes on the running back. So I'm just going to go with Nolan Smith.
I agree. So for these, we'll kind of run picks 11 through 31. We'll kind of run through. We'll give a little bit of description, but we're kind of, we'll make it short and sweet. But 11, I think the honestly, to make this a bit easier, we'll just go ahead. I'll do my picks 11 through 16, and then you'll do your picks 11 through 16, and then that'll keep it going. So at pick 11, I have the Titans going JSN. I think they need another wide receiver. Trayvon Burks is good, but the loss of A.J. Brown needs to be filled. With the Texans here on the clock, they do need a lot. It's very hard, but I think they take Kalaje Casey, I think is how you say his name, at the D-line from Pittsburgh. I think he's actually a really good athlete. I was watching him on his pro day and stuff like that, or his combine, and he was very good. And I think they just go and take him. I'm not confident in that one, but I think it's a good selection. The Packers here, obviously the trade with Aaron Rodgers just went through. Crazy enough, I think they could. There's some wide receivers here on the board, but they need a lot. To be fair, for me, I think they go wide receiver, which is kind of crazy, but I think that they go with, I'm trying to find them. I, for some reason, lost them. There we go. I think they're going to go with Quentin Johnson at 13. I think that might be a little high for him, but I'm going to go ahead and say they take him. The Patriots on the clock now. They need Mac Jones is all right. I think they honestly could go offensive line or edge. I have them going Nolan Smith off the edge. I think they could pair him with Matthew Judon. It would be a good pairing. Jets on the clock here. This one's tough. I don't really know what the Jets want, but I think they want to protect Aaron Rodgers a little bit more. They don't need another receiver, I think. I have them going Paris Johnson Jr. From Ohio State, just another tackle to be out there and protect. I think it honestly, I think that would be a good fit for them. Washington here, they kind of want a quarterback. They kind of do, but there's no quarterback available right now. I don't think you can take a quarterback this early. I think that would be absurd if you take a quarterback now. So I like Christian Gonzalez going here. I think if he falls, I think they'll just take him. It's a weird pick, but I think that's what's going to happen. So go ahead and do your picks 11 through 16.
All right, so at Tennessee, this is where I have Will Levis going. I mean, that's Tennessee.
They've been talking about how they don't like Malik Willis and how they don't think he's the guy. So I agree with this.
To me, because I was so hoping Detroit drafted Malik last year, but I mean, I think they're gonna have to go quarterback. Like there's no way they wasted on that.
Yeah.
Especially if Will Levis is there. I mean, you kind of just take the shot, I guess. I mean, it's kind of a shot in the air, but yeah. Will Levis had one. And then at 12, I have the duo reuniting. This way I have JSN going. Reunite with CJ Stroud over there in Houston.
I like it.
Green Bay is where I have Paris Johnson Jr. going. I mean, like you said, they have a quarterback, but do they really?
Yeah.
I'm going to be completely honest. I had no clue who the Patriots were going to take, so I had them taking Broderick Jones, tackle out of Georgia. And then I kind of threw a shot in the wind for the Jets, too, and had them taking Darnell White, another tackle out of Tennessee. And then Washington, I had them taking Emmanuel Forbes. I mean, they need a corner. I think their defense is pretty solid, and I mean, they need a lot on that offense, but...
Yep, and I will go ahead and do my picks 17 through, we'll just go 17 through 23, and then we'll do 17 through 22, and then we'll do 24 through 31. Steelers on the clock here. They have a good team, to be fair. I don't really know, what I think, I don't really know what they want, but I have them. This is where I have that tackle from Georgia going, Broderick Jones. I think they could use a little bit more on the offensive line. They want to protect Kenny Pickett, give him some time in the pocket, because they want to definitely develop him. Wide receiver, Detroit at 18. I think they go with a wide receiver here because the Jamison Williams, he got suspended for 6 games. So I think that, they don't want to I know they brought in Marvin Jones, but a guy like Jordan Addison from USC, you pair him up with Amon-Ra, who went from USC. I would think that'd be a good pairing. And, even when J-Mo comes back, we could use 3 receivers. So I think it's tough because that means we have a lot of depth. That means Marvin's gonna have to sit every now and then. But injuries are a huge thing, and we always, there's always injuries. So I think Jordan Addison's a huge pick for us. I would have liked Quentin Johnson, but like I said, I think he might go a little earlier because now with the Packers not really having, they have who's the Packers receiver that they have that actually balled out this year? What's his name?
What's the Christian, right?
Christian, yeah. I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Talking about though, Christian Watson.
Christian Watson, thank you. At 19, I have the Bucs. They're in a bit of a tough spot. There's not really any. They're not in. Go ahead. Oh, I thought you said something.
No, they're just screwed.
Oh. The Bucs, they're in a tough spot. Brady retiring kind of hurt them. They have a lot that they need. But Baker, I guess, is going to be their quarterback. This is where I have Brian Branch, the safety from Alabama, going. I think that, they're just going to take it. It's his safety. They could go anywhere there. There's a lot that they could use. But this is just something to build on that defense. If not them, I think they go tackle. Seahawks here with their second pick. They've got some good picks. This one, I think they go online. This is where I think Darnell Wright goes off the board. I know they don't really need a tackle, but they can kind of move him around. I just think that they just get a defensive lineman and an offensive lineman. Chargers on the board here. I don't have them going wide receiver at all. I think they need to build that defense even more. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are a good combo. They need wide receiver, but Joey Porter Jr. is on the board here, and I think they absolutely take him. I think they need corner more. I think for some reason, even though they added so much on their defense, it was still lackluster last year. So this is where I have them going with a corner. The Ravens, they added OBJ, but I think they still go with a wide receiver. They don't have a lot of wide receivers. So this is where I like Josh Downs a little bit more than Zay Flowers. So I have Josh Downs from North Carolina going here. Bit of controversial pick, but I like the pick. And then right back-to-back, it's either corner or it's wide receiver. Justin Jefferson is crazy. And I like the wide receiver core is not bad, and they've still got, they've got TJ. I don't think they need a wide receiver here. I think they go corner. They need a corner. I think they go Emmanuel Forbes. Deontay Banks is there, but I like Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State. I think he would fit better in the Vikings offense or defense. Sorry, so I'm going to Emmanuel Forbes there for the Vikings. All right, go ahead with yours.
We're doing 17 through 23.
Yes.
All right, so at 17, I have the Steelers taking Joey Porter Jr. Strengthen that defense. He's probably, honestly, the best corner available after Witherspoon and Gonzalez, in my opinion.
Yep.
And at 18, you already know we had the boy fall. We're taking Bijan Robinson.
Oh, I like it.
Out offensive line. Had to do it to him.
Yep.
And then, like you said, the Bucs are just in a nutshell. Their whole team, I believe, but I have them taking Deontay Banks on Maryland. The Seahawks, like you said, I think you said receiver, right? But I have them taking Zay Flowers. Dolphins, Chargers, I have them taking Lucas Van Ness. And the Ravens, I have them taking Jordan Addison out of USC. And then at 23, I have, who is honestly my favorite player in this draft, going to the Vikings and Kalijah Kancey.
Okay. I like it.
I want the Lions to draft him so bad that I know they're.
It's a little far down the board, but all right, 24 through 31. We got the Jaguars on the clock here. They did lose a wide receiver, but they still kind of have some pieces there. Myles Murphy fell a little bit down the board, maybe too far from for me. But Myles Murphy goes ahead and gets taken here by the Jaguars. Giants on the clock. They do need a wide receiver, and I think this is where Zay Flowers goes off the board. I think Zay Flowers gets taken. I know that's 1, 2, 3. I believe that's 4, 5 wide receivers taken. I think that's the max, but that's a lot. But I think that's the max. The Cowboys here on the clock. I wanted to go corner initially, but I don't think they really need one. I think with they picked up Gilmore and they have Trayvon Diggs, they might go young corner here, but I just don't see it. Honestly, this is a tough pick. It's kind of hard, picking for them right here because there's not much, but I see them going Maisie Smith from Michigan. There's not much I know, and I just think that they might go defensive line just to try and help Micah Parsons out a little bit. But the Bills on the clock here. I think this is where Deonte Banks goes off the board. He helps Tre'Davious White. He was out a lot last year, so I think they just kind of want to have him there. This is where the Bengals are on the clock. I have them going the best tight end, or probably the number 1 ranked tight end. I think the best tight end, in my opinion, is Darnell Washington, but they go ahead and go Dalton Kincaid, or however you say his name here. At 29th, the Saints on the clock. I think they just go with a who am I thinking? Not safety. I picked the wrong position. O-line, interior offensive line. The guard it's the one I'm thinking of from Minnesota, John Michael Schmitz. Kind of a weird pick there, but I think that they just go interior offensive line. I think it would help them out a little bit. Eagles back up on the clock. They have 2 picks, obviously. This one's a bit weird. It's trying to figure out what they want, but I think this is where Jack Campbell, they lost. I'm trying to think of who the name that they lost. I can't think of the linebacker, so I think they replace that linebacker that they lost. I can't think of his name for right now, but I think that's who they go with, is Jack Campbell, the linebacker from Iowa. And then the Chiefs, they need a receiver. And honestly, they might go with one, but I don't see them taking one. I really don't. I honestly see them going with Lucas Van Ness from Iowa, back-to-back Iowa picks. I don't know. That one's a bit rough one. I think there might be some of these receivers that I picked Josh Downs down the board that might go, but I'm not 100% sure. So that is my first round, so I will let you finish out yours.
All right, so back up to 24, I have the Jags, and this is where I have Brian Branch out of Alabama going. Strengthen that defense again. The Jags are close, dude. There's a couple teams like Jags, the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't even throw like the Giants. Dude, they're close. They're close team. And, I think the Giants always do a horrible job drafting. They definitely need some defense. They definitely need a receiver at least, but I have them going defense, and I have them drafting Kylie Ringo out of Georgia. A little bit of a curveball there. And dude, it's hard to draft for the Cowboys. One, I don't like
position. Wait, where is he?
The Cowboys could literally have the best player at every position. They're still not going to be good. So, I have them taking a tight end, Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. They lost Dalton Schultz, so I guess. There's not. We're getting.
Who did you have to go the Giants going with?
Kylie Ringo.
What position?
Corner.
I thought so. That was position Okay, I just didn't see him. Okay. And then the Cowboys, who'd you have going with?
Michael Mayer.
Okay. Perfect.
And then I have the Bills going with Josh Downs out of North Carolina.
All right.
Going off your back-to-backs like you did. I'm not going out of Iowa. I'm going out of the University of Clemson. I got the Bengals taking Miles Murphy. And I have the Saints taking Brian Breezy. Or Breesy, however the fuck you say it.
What position? Oh, I see him. D-line.
He's an edge. And you got Brian Brees?
Yep.
All right. And here's where I think the Eagle fans just wish the Eagles pulled the trigger on Bijan at 10. And I have them settling for Jahmyr Gibbs out of Alabama. Honestly, I don't know if that's how you say his first name. But and mini Derrick Henry, he's good.
He plays at Alabama. He's got good coaching. So a lot of Alabama running backs have been good, Najee and Derrick. So
But I mean, I feel like I don't think they're gonna go Bijan at 10. I really don't. So I feel like this is where Gibbs gets drafted. It might be a little high for him, honestly. I don't really know where he's predicted to go, but I don't really else know what else the Eagles would draft. So, and then at 31, I have the Chiefs taking Mozzie Smith. I mean, like you said, they do need a receiver. Now that I'm looking at this, I had the dude at TCU not even go in the first round, so they could go him. But
Nope.
I'll just go with Mozzie Smith, honestly. And
That is that's both of our first rounds. Now, don't get this wrong. Neither of us are draft analysts. Neither of us probably this will be the only mock draft we do, and we barely have watched anything about the draft. We just kind of were doing this just to have fun and just kind of see who gets the most right. When it comes to the top 10, we definitely have a decent idea, but then past that, it kind of just get to the point of what a team needs and kind of who we kind of watched in college when we watch college football. But don't get on us and say we probably aren't even going to be close. The top 10 is probably going to be pretty close, but after that, it'll be bouncing.
after that, I mean, it was rough.
Yeah, so we just
I
kind of are
mean,
out here having fun, just seeing who can make the better draft. But if you guys think you can do a better one, leave a comment of the mistakes we made, and you make one. So that's gonna do it. Draft day is tomorrow. It's gonna be an exciting night. Can't wait for the Lions to have 2 picks and draft both great in those picks. So we will go ahead and see. We're gonna go ahead and cut to Donnie right after this to see his mock draft, and then we will see who has the best draft. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in just a second.
All right. With the first overall pick, I have the Panthers shocking everybody and taking CJ Stroud. I don't think either of these guys are special, but I think CJ fits what the Panthers want to do and what Frank Wright likes in a quarterback. He's never coached a quarterback under, I believe, 6'2". CJ, obviously, over that. Bryce is just small frame. I don't think he's Frank Reich's guy. But I think the Texans jump on Bryce at 2. He's the guy they wanted all along. They need some glimmer of hope to start this rebuild off, and Bryce is the guy. Yep, and then I think the Cardinals are going to stay pat after fielding offers, and they're just going to take best player available and Will Anderson. Maybe the best player in the draft. Just an absolute Alabama stud. I think, yeah. Yeah. Then I think the Colts will take Will Levis. I think I saw recently that Peyton Manning reportedly has signed off on Will Levis to be as his stamp of approval. So I think that will be the last nudge the Colts need to finally select a quarterback and quit cycling through all these old guys. Then I have the Seahawks taking Tyree Wilson. I think they need edge help desperately. That was one of the biggest flaws on an overall solid team last year, was they absolutely have nothing as in terms of edge rushers. I think they passed what is a question mark in Jalen Carter. Just take more of a sure thing. Then I have the Lions taking Devon Witherspoon. Corner, I think that they shouldn't really invest in corner that high, but I think they're playing best player available at the moment. And Brad Holmes knows his Illinois DBs after taking Kirby Joseph last year and that being a hit. So, yeah. Do you have anything to say about that, Marshall?
I think that's a great selection. I think you made a good choice there, and I think that's smart football.
Good job. Then I think there's a trade at 7. I think the Eagles move up from 10 to 7.
Well,
Oh my. Well, I actually have 5 more trades after that, but okay. I, I'm kidding. That's my only trade. Yes. And they are taking Jalen Carter. I think the Eagles have essentially no holes. Their defensive line is aging. That's pretty much the only major weakness. I think with them having a lack of holes on the roster, they can take more of a on a guy like Carter. Yeah. Well, my simulator I couldn't trade either, so I have the Raiders picking Carter, and then I just picked who I think the Raiders will take at 10. I have Jalen Carter going to the Eagles at 7. Then I think the Falcons will take Peter Soronsky, tackle, Northwestern. Has been the hottest tackle prospect all year. I think the Falcons pretty much need a little bit of everything. Got to see if Desmond Ritter is actually a guy, the guy, or a guy. So they're going to protect him. Hopefully give him more time to throw to Kyle Pitts or whatever weapon they try to have. I think the Bears, this would have been a great spot for Jalen Carter. I think this is where the Eagles had to jump. They had to jump the Bears because Bears are pretty much in the same spot, need a little bit of everything. I think they will stay pat and just take Paris Johnson Jr., tackle from Ohio State. Him and Soronsky pretty much talked about all years, the top tackle guys. I think pretty much just a solid pick. Then I think the Raiders take pretty much one of the. They have needs everywhere, so they take just Christian Gonzalez, Oregon. Him and Witherspoon, top corner guys, pretty much it. The Titans go pretty risky and go Anthony Richardson. Ryan Tannehill's kind of. I'm not very confident in this one, but I think I'm not confident in it. I think the Titans are a year away from picking a quarterback and going rebuild mode, but Anthony Richardson falling to 11. I think even if the Titans don't take him here, realistically, maybe a team trades up, like Washington. I think Washington's in play to trade up. But for here, I'll just have the Titans staying and taking him. Then I have the Texans grabbing best defensive player available after selecting Bryce Young. They go Miles Murphy, the edge rusher from Clemson. After that, the Packers selecting Broderick Jones, tackle from Georgia. Just Bakhtiari's pretty much out the door with his injury, and Rodgers going and turning anew. I think the Patriots take Brian Branch, the safety from Bama, the only highly rated safety this year. You know, Bill loves his Bama players. Him and Nick Saban, pretty much the exact same person. So, yes. Then I have the Jets taking Darnell Wright, tackle from Tennessee. He was also a highly rated tackle prospect. The Jets just need to protect A-Rod. I think they have enough weapons for now, at least. They can worry about that more on day 2, but they need to keep Aaron upright. He struggled last year with a good Packers O-line, let alone move into this Jets O-line that has holes everywhere. Then I have Washington taking Nolan Smith, the edge rusher from Georgia. Don't really have a reason, just they're going to take him. I have the Steelers taking Joey Porter Jr., corner. I think them losing Cam Sutton to the Lions in free agency creates a hole for them. They need to keep that defense as tight as they can. Have the Lions taking Kalaje Cansey, defensive tackle, Pittsburgh. I think them starting defensive tackle is pretty much the only thing they're missing. Clancy is an undersized guy to go along with a Liam McNeil, who's more of a nose tackle sorts. Creates good 1-2 punch. I have the Bucks taking Deontay Banks, corner from Maryland. They need to pretty much get a little bit of everything. I have the Seahawks doubling down on their D-line and taking Brian Brzee, defensive tackle from Clemson. I have the only running back going off the board to the Chargers, Bijan Robinson. They're really going to let a guy as talented as Austin Eckler go. They need to draft a replacement, and I think they should just keep Austin and pay him. But if they don't, I think they need to not drop off in the running back. Brian Staley needs to fucking hold on to his job. Then I have the Ravens, in an effort to continue to keep Lamar happy, taking Jackson Smith and Jigba. Pretty wide receiver that was supposed to go a lot higher, pretty much fell about 10 or so picks. Then I have the Vikings replacing their longtime wide receiver, Adam Thielen, with Jordan Addison. Then I have the Jags taking the best player available at the board, Lucas Van Ness, the edge rusher from Iowa. I have the Giants finally adding a wide receiver that can maybe catch a ball or run a good route, and Quentin Johnston. The Cowboys replacing Dalton Schultz with Michael Mayer, tight end from Notre Dame. The Bills continuing to see how consistent Josh Allen could possibly be with Zay Flowers. The Bengals taking somebody to hopefully replace Eli Apple and Keely Ringo from Georgia. The Saints needing a little bit of everything, taking Isaiah Vosky, an edge rusher from Notre Dame. The Eagles selecting Cam Smith, a corner, to hopefully learn under Darius Slay and replace him in the following years. Then the Chiefs, the rich get richer and take Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver from Tennessee. Cam Smith from South Carolina, and then Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver from Tennessee. I don't know shit about him. I just know the Chiefs are probably going to take a wide receiver.
Yeah, sorry guys about my audio getting corrupted. I had an outro, but now I have to re-record it. So here you can look at a picture of Roger Goodell blurred while I do this outro. But thank you guys for watching the video. If you did enjoy, please subscribe and like the video. I hope you guys enjoy the draft. Make sure you watch draft day. Go to the movie. Again, sorry about my audio being corrupted there. Don't laugh. Sorry about my audio being corrupted in the second clip, but I don't even know what happened. The entire thing worked, but for some reason my audio did not go with it. So this is the formal outro. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the draft, and if you liked our mock drafts, comment. I know we're probably not even going to be close, but you know, like I said with Awesome, we're just doing this for fun. So thank you guys for watching, and take care.